Good afternoon. Here in the UK, we are facing an epidemic of young life being lost and unalive on the streets of the UK. What is going on? It's becoming too much. Year after year, month after month, we are continuously hearing stories of young, innocent lives just gone too soon. And we're at the point where enough is enough. Enough is enough. We have got to stop. A time of us burying our children, young adults, grown adults, burying their children has got to stop. What is going on? Knife crime, gun crime, violence, it's just too much. What is going on? I'm here to give you a bit of an update on our beautiful princess who left us too soon. She was unalived on the 27th of September, literally just under a week ago. The lovely Elianne Andam, 15 years old, on her way to school. And it's just unbelievable. Once again, my heart goes out to her family, condolences to her family. I just want to spread some love, some peace, and strength from the Most High to you during this time. No parent should have to bury their child. It's the worst thing that can happen to anybody. And she was such a beautiful child, such a beautiful soul that had so much going for her. She was in a private school. Her mother had worked so hard. Her family had worked so hard to save up to take her to a private school so that she could live her life, or she can study and learn to become a lawyer, which she aspired to be. And at 15 years old, on her way to school, just like that, before 9 o'clock in the morning, unalived on the streets of UK. So I have to say once again, enough is enough. What is going on? What is going on? It is an epidemic, and it's sad because it's our youngsters, most of them in secondary school. Why should going to school and coming back home be a problem? I mean, the school, the school curriculum, or, of our young youths going to school from 4 years old, that's when they start reception, all the way up to at least secondary school when they finish in year 11. They are required by law to go to school. But yet, on this journey of going to school, being at school, there's deaths, multiple deaths, continuously. And it's just heartbreaking that it hasn't stopped. Even since this incident that took place last week, there's been more. And it is disturbing. It is very, very disturbing. A lot of the time, it is our young men, our young black guys that are being passed away. We're having white guys, we're having Asian, Middle Eastern guys, Arab guys that are being passed away too. It's mainly boys, young men, and then women. It's all races. It's not just in the black community. It's all races that are being analysed on our streets. I would say the majority of them in the UK is young black boys that are passed. If you look at the statistics, it's young black boys that are usually mainly a victim of this. But it is hitting every single race, every single demographics, or every single culture within the UK. Everyone's been hit, but it's predominantly young men that go the most. And it's just so sad that our young queen, our young sister, was caught up in this just on her way to school. Just on her way to school to study, to continue her life. She was in the right place at the right time. She was doing what any other 15-year-old girl should be doing, educating herself so that she can have a bright future. And look at this. It's just unbelievable. To so many people that knew her, they said she was the light. She was the light. She was funny. She was articulate. She had a group of really, really good friends. And everybody in her school are in complete shock and are mourning, literally mourning her passing. So once again, my heart goes out to you and to your family. I send my condolences, and we are truly, truly sorry for your loss. What I would like to shed more light on today. So the story is still unfolding, and a lot more has transpired since when I last spoke. So what we didn't know back then was that I think back then in the last recording that was out, we were under the acknowledgement, or it was thought or perceived that Elianne and the guy that unalived her, they were in a relationship at which she was breaking away from. But it so happens in this situation, not only was she taken too soon, but Elianne was a hero. She was a hero that put herself before others. Elianne was the friend of the girl who the guy was dating. So basically, it was Elianne's friend that was breaking up with this guy. They'd broken up the day before. They'd agreed to meet up on this particular morning, Wednesday the 27th. He came with his roses and a letter. And as we now know as well, he also came with a weapon, which is very strange, but we'll talk about that later. And they were having an argument. I guess he wanted to make up with the young lady. He wanted to pursue their relationship, and she just wasn't having it. And rightly so. If you're going to bring, a weapon to, a love reunion or a love makeup, then clearly your way of thinking is wayward. Clearly within you, there's a lot of aggression. Clearly there's a lot of signs that this young lady saw that she was like, at my young age, I don't want to be dealing with it. So rightly so for her rejecting his responses or his proposal of a new relationship. Only God knows what she's been through before, and God knows what she would have continued to be through if she had continued in that relationship. And I do believe at some point, if that relationship had continued, it would have resulted in some DV. So good on you for sticking to your guns and ending it. But as I was saying, Elianne was the friend of this young lady who was ending a relationship with the guy who inflicted this crime upon our dear beloved sister. And they were having an argument in the street. 8:30 in the morning, they were having an argument on the street. Elianne just came off the bus. She was literally a mile away from her school, and she saw what was going on. She obviously knew what was going on between the two. She must have known that they were broken up. She even knew the guy that unalived her as well, most probably through the girl. So she saw what was transpiring, and she came to defend her friend, as any normal person would do. She obviously must have known or must have perceived that he's dangerous or had affiliations with a dangerous crowd in London. Clearly she knew that there was a problem. She knew that there was a problem to the extent that she had to try and intervene with what was going on. I think the guy was trying to give her some gifts. Her friend didn't want it, and she I think took some items back from the guy which he'd taken from her friends. But in the midst of this struggle, this argument, or with Elianne just trying to be a friend or be a protector or to diffuse the situation with her dear friend and this aggressor, that's when he decided to unalive her. And what is even more shocking about this situation, when things was getting really hostile, Elianne ran. She ran because she knew, oh my God, this is beyond me. She ran, and this guy at 8:30 in the morning, when most people are thinking about their education, thinking about their life, he was 17 years old. I'm sure he should have been preparing to go to university, writing some exams, doing some dissertation or something. He's chasing down this 15-year-old girl 8:30 in the morning with a weapon. I mean, come on, at some point when he was running after her, didn't he think, where am I going with this? What am I going to do with this? Why am I chasing her down with a weapon? No. None of that reasoning came into his head. He pursued her down the street, he caught up with her, and then he took his weapon out and he unalived her. 8:30 in the morning. For what? For sticking up for her friends? For being a united force against violence? For saying no, we're not gonna submit to your domestic violence and your control. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So those were the additional circumstances that led to the unaliving of our beautiful sister Elianne Andam last week, it's just sad. What happened to our beautiful sister has brought the whole of Croydon into mourning. Her family, her mother, her extended family, her school, the local community, not even just the local community within Croydon, but even within the UK, because it was just so senseless, so unnecessary. It's something that could have been de-escalated. I mean, like I said, and I think I've said it quite a few times, how do you come to a situation where you're trying to make up with your ex-girlfriend and you have a weapon? Not only do you have a weapon, but then you end up using it as well. How does that happen? How does that happen in the morning? What happens to being emotionally intelligent? Can you not accept no? Is rejection just not in the line? Because you want to date someone or you want to be in someone's life, they just have to submit and bow down and accept it, or be unalive, or face the consequences. I mean, what is going on in the minds of our youth where they think that this behavior is normal, or they feel like this behavior has just got to be tolerated? You either tolerate this behavior or you face my wrath. And this is what this princess had to face, and I thank God that she stepped in. It's a shame that her life had to be taken because of this, but I thank God that she stepped in, because someone has to fight for justice. Someone has to fight for what is right. Someone has to say, no, not today. We are not going to bow down to this evil. And it's a shame that this beautiful, innocent girl who had a whole life ahead of her, who wanted to be a lawyer, who was studying so hard to make it in life, who her parents had struggled and saved and worked hard just to put their daughter in the right path so that she can be in the right school, so that she can mingle with the right people, so that she can be on the right footpath to make it in her life, that her life had to go to expose this level of violence and degeneracy that is happening in the minds of the youth in the UK today. It's just unbelievable, you know? Look at her beautiful mother. Families in mourning, absolute mourning. You say goodbye to your child in the morning and then you realize that they're not coming back home. I just can't. I'm heartbroken. I can't even apprehend what I would do. I can't even apprehend. She, Eliana, a beautiful princess, gone too soon. Gone too soon before your time, and you shall not be forgotten. You will definitely not be forgotten. But what you've done and your works and your sacrifice will not be forgotten as well. This is the spreading lights for protection for women. Protection, because soon too much atrocities are happening globally around the world where young, vulnerable women are just attacked, violated, or unlived during normal, everyday, day-to-day activities. You can't even walk down the park anymore without someone trying to grab you, unalive you, or violate you. You're going to school trying to diffuse an argument. Someone is chasing you down the street. That's not even enough. A stronger guy chasing you down the street. No way in his mind says, stop, let me leave it alone. You know, unaliving you. Just like that. So many horrors, so many atrocities. Women trying to break up with their exes, wives, husband and wives going through the divorce, even if it's a situation where they've been going through DV, they've been unalived. There's so many stories, one after the other. Husband cheating on the wife finds out, the man unalives his wife. When is this gonna stop? When is this gonna stop? So my heart goes out to her family. It really, really does, you know. And it's just for us parents. I mean, like I said before, I am a Christian. We do definitely need to be praying more over our kids. No one can know tomorrow, because no one could have ever discerned, no one could have ever have known that this was going to happen unless they got this revealed to them from a higher source. How could anyone have ever predicted this? She wasn't in a nightclub. She wasn't in a gang. She wasn't hanging around with the wrong crew. You know, there was none of that. There was none of that. She was just an ordinary girl going to school with the aspirations of being a lawyer. And look, you know, so it's all about discernment, just being prayerful. I thank God that Elianne did what she did to step in, because nowadays, a lot of times when people see evil or aggression, or they see a situation escalating, nowadays, a lot of people won't help anymore. They really won't. You could be a woman being attacked by a group of men, and men will be around. They won't help anymore, because in a lot of cases, or it's been reported a lot of times, that when you go in to help, 9 times out of 10, you'll be the one who'll be unalived. So people would either stand by and watch, or they'll stand by and call the police, or out of fear. And I'm not saying that to condemn people. I'm just saying that there's been a shift in society where we've heard so many times where people are being either unalived or attacked by trying to come in and help when a situation is going on, that people now are at the point where they're a bit more numb. Most people will do the decent thing and at least, alert authorities to let them know, but a lot of people won't step in. They will not step in. That's the mindset, and I think that's happening globally because they don't want to get caught up in that situation. And once again, Elianne's a hero in this. Elianne's a hero in this because she just went with her instincts, and she was just being the good person that she is. She saw a bad situation and she stepped in, what any normal person would do. She helped out her friend who was dealing with a guy that was an aggressor. And I think the fact that she did this, I think that's what has just melted the UK hearts. People flooded in all over. police, the family, her school. So many people have come to that point or to that location of where the incident took place just to pay their respects and lay down their condolences. Good news though, justice will definitely be served. It will be served in this situation. The aggressor, the young boy, the 17-year-old young boy who decided to unalive our sister before 9 a.m. in the morning, was found on that day, literally 45 minutes after the incident took place. He was tracked down and found in Croydon. He was brought in for questioning. After the investigation, they realised there was nobody else that was in connection with this crime that took place. So he was held. And I can say to you at this current moment in time, he has been charged. He has been charged. So justice will definitely be served for our beautiful sister, Elena. The outpour, the outcry within the UK has just been felt literally throughout, basically. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be dealt with accordingly. It's just a shame, you know. Our beautiful sister was only 15. He himself was only 17 as well, you know. She's gone too soon. And I'm sure the young aggressor, he'll be spending many years behind bars, and this could have been avoided. It literally could have been avoided. You know, okay, you might have been a bit heartbroken that your ex didn't want to be with you anymore. Okay, so what? Cry for a month. Women do this all the time. Not even that, you're only 17. I mean, come on. You might be upset for a month, but there's plenty more fishes in the sea. And you know what? Even if you really wanted to get back with her, try harder. Try harder. What happens to being better? I mean, you're only 17. You haven't lived that much. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You've got your whole life ahead of you in terms of, well, you had your whole life ahead of you in terms of developing and being a man and improving yourself and doing better and being able to deal with your emotions better. You know, but it's a shame you did this. You acted in a very tragic way. Our beautiful sister's lost her life because of you. So because you just couldn't calm down for one day and really, you know, reflect on why your ex wanted to be your ex. What have you done to make her do this? Or maybe this wasn't the right time. Or focus on your future. You're only 17 years old. You should be preparing to go to university, you know. So yeah, it's a shame. I'm sure he'll be spending many years. Well, I'm sure the full justice of the law will be, justice will definitely be played out. He's been charged. He will not be roaming the streets of London anytime soon. And I'm sure he'll be there for many years. So at least we can say that. But once again, justice for Elena will be served. Elena, you are a hero. You truly are. You know, you did what so many people wouldn't do. A lot of people would have just walked away, minded their own business, but you chose to step in. That's the kind of person that you were. You know, you looked out for others above yourself. You saw their weaknesses and you tried to help. You're a helper. You know, you came in for your friend. You just wanted to be a source of support. And it's just unfortunate that in this tragic situation, this guy was someone that clearly couldn't be reasoned with. He clearly was going through a lot of stuff that we can't even begin to explain, because it wasn't even 9 o'clock in the morning. Most people are trying to figure out what they're going to have for breakfast, and he's already taken souls. It's like, come on now. Like, was he in a gang? What kind of life was he living? What kind of background? How did he grow up? Was he in a gang? Like, who has a weapon that early in the morning with the intention of using it? And if you can chase down a young girl that early in the morning, not only did you chase her down, but then you brought out your weapon and you caused bodily harm to the point where she's now 6 foot under. Are you kidding me? There was nothing in your psycho, nothing in your mind that told you, stop, this is too much. She's a girl. Do I really want to get in trouble? I mean, did you really think you was going to get away with this? Just no thought process. Have you done this before? Is she the first person you've unalived, or is there many others? You know, I would truly like to know. Absolutely, I would. But I'm gonna stop my rambling now, and yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to everything. He is behind bars. He has been charged, and I would update you more. But justice will be served for our Princess Elena.